With any sling, what we're looking for in simplest terms is the capability to retain our firearm while freeing our hands for other tasks or for transition to a secondary weapon. We'll talk through these criteria as we go through our slings. Let's start with the most simple but effective slings that are available for carbines and shotguns. What we're talking about here are conventional two-point slings in that they attach the 2 points on the firearm. Generally, but not always, these mounting points are fore and aft, and many of these slings attach to the weapon with some sort of purpose-designed attachment points. On many firearms, these points of attachment are already installed, or the sling is made to work with the features of the firearm or attachment. What we have here is a conventional quick detach sporting swivel, an HK-style gated snap hook, a more recent development, the mash hook, a quick release or breakaway gated latch, and the detent ball push button style of sling swivel. You also may find some that attach with Fastex buckles or threaded webbing through various portions of the firearm. And additionally, you may find some that require some sort of adapter that threads around some portion of the firearm with a combination of tri-glides and Velcro to provide an attachment point. It should be noted, however, that quick detachable does not mean breakaway or even quick disconnect. We take a look at the standard hunting type swivel or even the gated HK style latch. There's still some dexterous movement that's required to get these things off. The term simply means that slings so equipped are more easily installed and removed than the traditional threaded on or woven on types. When choosing a sling attachment method, we get into another balancing act between how much we own the firearm and how much the firearm owns us. The easier and faster attachment methods tend to be less secure, while those that are more secure may contribute to you being drug around by your sling or hung up on it. Various methods of employment may change how much of each you need, so only the user can answer where on that spectrum they want to be. Right, just because this type of sling is basic doesn't mean it isn't functional. Simple two-point slings are designed to carry the firearm without the use of hands and generally in a muzzle-up or muzzle-down carry. Uses a simple carrying strap. You can carry over the shoulder in the typical American over-the-shoulder muzzle-up carry or the African-style muzzle-down carry and present the firearm from either of those relatively rapidly. For more administrative tasks, we can also use an over-the-shoulder carry. So the firearm is completely secure and our hands are relatively free to do other tasks. Many of the basic models are derived from traditional military and hunting slings and allow adjustment through the use of a single slider or tri-glide. But generally, in their use, this adjustment feature is primarily of use in sizing things up at the beginning of a shift or upon removal from the car. You can always use this type of sling around the neck or around the body, as with other types of more adjustable slings. And when you do this, transition around the neck, firearm hangs generally in front of you. If it's around the body, you'll generally get something off to your secondary side. And from either of those carry methods, transition to the opposite side is relatively easy. There's another method that's a little more complex to transition, but it also keeps you from being hung up on the sling. Whereas the firearm is employed with the sling unattached to the body, then transition is simply made by tossing it over your shoulder. Finally, while some of the slings that we're discussing have evolved from hunting designs, they are not the flared or cobra type. While these models certainly have their place in hunting, the wider surface is easier to get caught while being used for patrol or fighting functions. Also, the 1907 pattern heavyweight leather or urethane sling designed for precision or competition shooting, are not generally practical for patrol use either, but they do have applications, such as on this designated marksman rifle. Sticking with the 2-point category, let's look beyond the simple carry strap and get into some slings with additional features. These generally attach via the same methods as the simpler 2-points. Some of them can be complicated, but even with the simple ones, it's up to you, the user, to make sure that they're correctly installed per the manufacturer's instructions. And it is also up to you to make sure that the slings are properly threaded on to the adapters and tri-glide adjusters as well. Generally, these 2-point slings are mostly carried in front of the body as opposed to the traditional muzzle-up or over-the-shoulder carry used by hunters and the military in the past. Firearm is carried so that the buttstock is close to the strong side shoulder in either the around the neck or around the body method we discussed earlier with the simpler slings. The main additional feature in this type of sling is quick adjustability through various methods. These slings allow the firearm to be snugged up to the body for a more secure, hands-free arrangement, and even stowed around the back for climbing, fast roping, approaching a suspect to cuff, or other tasks. It can be quickly adjusted to have enough length so the weapon can be mounted to the strong shoulder in a swift and unencumbered movement and have enough slack to be employed similar to the simpler 2-point slings. Another thing that the adjuster allows us to do is to use the sling for shooting support. Please note that the basic length adjustment on these slings is something that needs to be checked every time a change is made to the garments and to the equipment, which can cause difficulties in how the gun is brought to the shoulder. Body armor, vest-mounted pouches, badges, radio mics, and other items on the body may change where the ideal range of adjustment is for any sling, and you need to make sure that your sling works with your equipment. Adjustment of these slings is done with a slider, tri-glide, or other proprietary device. The quick adjust mechanism is what allows the adjustment so that the user can transition from the method of sling employment and rapidly adjust across the spectrum of control and maneuverability as just demonstrated. We have polymer tri-glide like here on this Vickers, and we have a more conventional pack strap type buckle on this Viking Tactics. Also, the Vickers comes with a metal tri-glide option. And this Magpul convertible multi-mission sling also has a metal tri-glide. Finally, it should be noted that some 2-point slings are made in heavier weight materials and with padded over-the-shoulder straps for use in the horizontal carry of heavier weapons like the M249 SAW and the M240 Gulf or Bravo, and in slightly lighter padded versions like this Vickers for comfort and strength with heavier platforms like this PTR 91. Whatever your needs and whatever category of sling you choose to meet those needs, Brownells and PoliceStore.com have you covered. And as with everything at Brownells, all slings are covered by a 100% unconditional lifetime satisfaction guarantee so you can buy with confidence. If a sling ends up not working out for you, we'll make sure that you end up with one that does.